Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I am getting started just a little bit early. I'm hoping that you are able to hear me on Facebook, YouTube, and my website, DDStamps.com. I will be checking around on all those for questions if you have any. So, if you think of a question on Facebook, it's right down below. There's a comment section. You go ahead and comment. I'm going to talk about that too in a minute. YouTube, you can comment into the comment section, and I do have it set so that I can see the exact comment if somebody comments. So I'm hoping you're out there and you can hear me. If you can, let me know. And then on my DD Stamps website, make a comment. I can check my email. That's how I get it from there. And so I will be checking around and making sure that I'm covered and getting everybody's questions answered. So I'm going to start. So if you can hear me, post up that you can, and then I will know that you can hear me. So doesn't look, I do lag a little bit behind everybody. So hopefully it's out there and we are, oh good. Christine can hear me over on YouTube. That's awesome. I am waiting to hear from somebody on Facebook whether they can hear me or not. And while we're doing that, let me just check my website to make sure. Oh yeah, there's people over, definitely over on YouTube can hear me. And hopefully see me. And yay! People can hear me on my typepad or DD Stamps website. So hopefully that means you can hear me too also on if you can't hear me on Facebook, you need to check the volume on your Facebook post. Just 1 second while I get this checked out and make sure it's working. Definitely. Okay, so Facebook looks like it's working. So Charlene's on there. She can't hear me, which I'm sorry to hear that, because it doesn't do me any good to talk if she can't hear me anyway. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First off, I want to thank you all for coming. I said that a little bit earlier, but I really do. And I want to just touch on a few things. Couple of reminders. Right here, we're going to share the screen. There we go. So if you are out there on Facebook, there's a couple of things you can do also on YouTube. But down here in the corner, there's a little gear. This little gear right here. If you click on that, it might bring up the speed of my streaming. I know that I'm having a little issue tonight with my streaming, and I don't know if it was because my daughter was on the internet and I was on the internet. But hopefully it's not too much of a lag for you, and I'm not just buffering the whole time. But if you click on that, you can bring up the speed or down the speed depending on what kind of connection you have. And it all depends on the connection between what you have and what I have. Down here in the corner was this little auto refresh button. If that's checked, let's say for instance you're typing in a question and that is checked, it refreshes every 90 seconds, I believe. It's not timed for everybody, so every 90 seconds it just refreshes. If you're in the middle of typing something and it refreshes, you're going to miss everything you typed. So if you want to type questions to me, I would recommend that you click that off and then go ahead and type your questions, and then you can always refresh anytime you want right here, over here in this section right here. And if you're not going to type questions, you can just leave it checked and then it'll automatically refresh, and you'll be able to see the comments below from people that are talking to me or asking questions. So like I said, you go ahead and ask questions, a lot of questions, because that's what I'm here for. I will tell you, just a second here, I'm going to come back on screen. I will tell you that, see, it's been a month. It's been a month since I've talked to you guys. It's been a crazy month. I went and picked up my, and then I see my room. Okay, so honest to gosh, I have not cleaned my room since the last time that I did a workshop with you. It's still a complete mess. I'm working on my thank you cards that are going to go out hopefully by the weekend for everybody that ordered it from me in March. I'm working on that, but everything is just a mess. Life has been crazy. So I went to Oregon and then I picked up my daughter. She finished school, picked her up, drove her back here with all of her stuff. And then we got on a plane and went to Chicago last week and found her an apartment to live in and got to hang out in Chicago for a couple days and play. And I really loved it. So all of you who are from the area or been to Chicago, what a great place. It was really fun. The weather was decent. Had a little bit of rain, but while I was gone from here, we had like 1.5 feet of snow. So I missed all that. It was melted by the time I got home. So that was cool. Next week, I'm actually going to Salt Lake City for Stampin' Up's convention. That's when our new catalog will be unveiled and the new products that we're having. Don't get too excited though, because catalogs won't be going out to customers until May. So it's only April. So we have another, till the end of May. But you'll get your catalog sometime in May. It's just a matter of when I can order them from Stampin' Up. And how I do that is I just send out a catalog to everybody that's placed an order from me over the last year, and we go from there. So let's see, what else? I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I know there's probably questions out there. One of the questions I got asked today was, what was the best way to store your ink pads? Now, Stampin' Up's newest ink pads, these here are the kind that flip, so you open it and it flips over. So that automatically makes the ink store upside down. If you have ink pads such as this, I just store mine like this. I'm not too worried about it, but you could store them upside down if the lids come off like that. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. Either way works. It really does. So anyway, I think I'm trying to think, other questions. Oh, I had the question about Salt Lake. I had the question about when catalogs would be coming out. I gave you that answer. So that's awesome. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do some videos today, and I have to apologize because my life has been crazy. Like I said, I was in meetings all day today. I got home about 5:30, and I put together some slides. I'm going to do some videos that I've done. I'm going to answer questions. And then I hope it doesn't sound so frantic. So let's get started. Oh, I better not forget to change it to my slides. And then while the videos are playing, I will be checking for questions. So please always feel free to ask. That's the only way that I can do that. So first one up today is this really cute Your Sublime greeting card. This might seem familiar to some of you because it's a card that I did a while back, but I love this little frog. I'm actually doing cards all using the same stamp set tonight. This one just is adorable, and I liked it so much. It's a perfect time of year. This set was really fun and for spring. So I will get started. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did this card. I was inspired by another demonstrator on the internet. I just love it. I can't find her website at this point, but I think you may have seen these around, but it's really a fun card and really easy to do. So we'll go ahead and get started. So to begin with, I'm using the Your Sublime stamp set from Stampin' Up, which has a lot of great stamps in it. And I will show you that this little crab would make a cute card too, doing the same technique we're doing here, along with the frog. And I'm also using the hardwood background stamp. So to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that hardwood background stamp, and I'm actually using some gumball green. Oh, gumball green, that is an old color. I'm using Cucumber Crush. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that this is inked up all over. And then when I use my background stamps, I actually take a piece of cardstock and go right on top of that, leaving it down on the ground, and then a piece of paper over that. Let me go grab one. And then I'll just take a piece of paper over that and just make sure that it gets good and inked. And then when I pull off my paper, you'll see that I've got this hardwood. Now, when I first did this, I wasn't sure about the Cucumber Crush wood. I didn't really care for the contrast of the white with the Cucumber Crush. It was just going to overpower my card, and I didn't want that to happen. So I'm coming in with just a sponge and some ink, and I'm just going to go ahead and sponge that whole piece of cardstock. And it toned it down enough that I love it now. I love the green, the Cucumber Crush fence. So that's how I got my background. Like I said, it just toned it down so it wasn't so overpowering on my card. Once I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And then I'm going to come in with another piece of cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and take that little frog stamp, and we're going to ink him up a few times, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and come back in with that cucumber crush, and this time I'm going to smush down my lid a little bit, make myself a color palette, and that's what I'm going to use to color in the frog. And I'm going to bring in a blender pen, and so I'm just going to pick up some ink and then just smear it right across, adding some color right into that frog. It gives it a watercolor look without the watercolor mess. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the one thing I love about watercolor, is it doesn't have to be perfect. Just go ahead and put some color on there. That one looks good. And then I'm going to come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my 1 1/4 punch, and these two that I just did parts of. Oh, I'm going to punch out this one first because I need that one. Oh no, I cut that one out. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and just punch that one out. This one's just a little bit more peeking out. And then this one I actually cut out, and I'm going to use that Totally Awesome too. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim that off and then cut out my frog. Okay, so once you have that done, let me get rid of my scraps here. I've got these pieces. I'm going to come in with the next size punch up, which is a 1 1/2 punch, and go ahead and punch 3 circles. And these are going to get glued like that. And then the last thing I do, oh, I do need one more circle, a 1 1/4 inch circle. Where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. And I'm going to go ahead and add that onto my 3rd circle. And so I end up with all my little punches, and then this one actually gets put on there with the dimensional. Ah, sorry. I will try to bring this back to where we were. I'm going to go ahead and bring these in. And that's how you do your card. And then I'm going to take that Totally Awesome that I was trimming off that image. I'm going to go ahead and trim that off, make it a cute little banner. Ooh. Just go ahead and make my banner edges here with a pair of scissors. These are kind of, there we go. And then I like to, with my banners, just bend it, give it a little bend and another little bend. And if you take just a snippet of your dimensionals, I don't need a ton, I just need a little piece. And the part that is going to be curled up, I put that on the back of that and then attach that to my card. And then that keeps the banner having that little bend in it. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come in with some Watermelon Wonder. Punch a couple flowers. Now with these flowers, they're great just like this, or you can add a little bend in them if you have a paper piercing mat right here. So I'm just going to come in with a little paper piercing mat and my scoring tool. And if I just go right into the middle of those, it curls those flowers up and just gives a little dimension to them. And then I can and then I'm just going to add a little adhesive. Maybe, there we go. And put a flower there. a flower here. And the last one's going to go here, but I just love the look of that Watermelon Wonder and the Cucumber Crush. Gives it a lot of sparkle. And then the last thing that I did on that is I came in with a couple of rhinestones and just slip those into the middles of my flowers. And then this whole piece, like that, I'm going to take another piece of the Cucumber Crush cardstock, and this was 8.5 by 11, cut in half, so it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, folded. And then this goes right on that. Just makes for a really fun, cute, easy card. So, okay, so there's the card. I love that little frog. I think that's adorable. And I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I see I have a spammer over on over on YouTube. So I'm sorry about that. There was somebody's on there posting up political messages, and I don't really need to hear that. So that happens sometimes. It seems to me that quite a few people had some problems with seeing and hearing me on Facebook. I think you just had to refresh because some people are getting it okay. But I'm glad that you found me on YouTube, so that works. And you also, some of you found me on DDStamps.com, so that's great. I am going to come back. I had a couple of questions, or at least one. Somebody asked about my daughter's relocation. And so I'm just going to give you a little brief description of what happened. So we flew out to Chicago on Monday. She had made arrangements for some kind of a rental broker they had been talking back and forth. And so they come down to a list of 6 places for her to look at while we were there. And our goal was to look early so that we'd have extra days to play, because I'd never been to Chicago. And she'd only been there for 24 hours when she applied for the job or interviewed. We went to 6 different apartments, most of them, all of them in the downtown area. I was okay with any one of them. I thought they did a good job of weeding out, and it was really good to know that I was going to feel comfortable with her being in any one of those places. They were all secure. Dog friendly, because she wants to get a dog, because isn't that what every 25-year-old kid should do? But whatever, get a dog. Chicago's very dog friendly. I was actually surprised at how many people had dogs and how friendly it was. So that was Tuesday. We spent the whole day looking, and then it was a matter of deciding which one she wanted to be in. And luckily enough, then we got to play Wednesday, Thursday, and a little bit on Friday. Did the architecture tour, went to Navy Pier, so much, went to the Millennium Park, kind of stayed in that area. We did take the train out to a guy that she went to school with, works for the company that she's going to work for. He started out there about 6 months ago. So we went out took the train out to his house, him and his wife's house, for dinner. So it was kind of fun to take the train, because, we're not used to that kind of stuff here in Red Lodge. And we took the train back. And so it just felt really good. I love Chicago. I'm looking forward to going back. The movers are coming Wednesday of this next week to pack up her stuff. And then I think she takes some kind of a engineering board test on Friday. And then up to there, then it's the movers will call her 48 hours in advance before they get to her apartment, and then she'll fly out there, and that's it. And she's relocated, and it was pretty painless. I'm thankful the company is moving her so that I don't have to drive a big old U-Haul truck through the middle of downtown Chicago and try to figure that out. So that's awesome. So life is good, and I'm excited for her, and I think she's excited to start. She's a little nervous, but I think she'll have fun. So there you go. Just had a couple of comments about the little frog. Yeah, well, Jean, if you missed it, it's taped and you'll be able to watch it afterwards. Same with you, Mary Sue. You still got a black screen, okay, but missed a lot of the tutorial. Oh, well, you'll be able to watch it afterwards. This is all videotaped, so. Okay, other than that, it looks like things are going pretty well. Oh, I'm so excited. I love when it works. Saw the very end, cute card, just got home from Stamp Club. Oh, How do you organize your scrap cardstock? Good question. Okay, so my scrap cardstock is, I bought a little shelving unit, and I actually will see that one, that turquoise one that's right there? It's kind of similar to what I have. This one right here, I bought this one, probably Michael's or something. It's little drawers. It's actually made out of chipboard covered with paper. It's no big deal. But I have a drawer for each of the various families, like the brights, the subtles, the neutrals, the regals, and then whatever miscellaneous cardstock we have. So each drawer, and I just throw the scraps in there, and it's not organized whatsoever. It's just scraps are in there, and that's usually where I go first. If I'm going to make up something that's going to be punched, or I need a small image, or I need a piece of Whisper white cardstock that might be smaller than a full card size, I go into that drawer for any scrap and just dig through it and find the color that I need. That's how I do it. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and I have a tendency to save all my scraps because you never know what size you're going to need. So hope that answers your question. So we are going to get back to the slides. And like I said, just remember you can always ask any questions that you may have. Slide number 2 is the second card with this, using that little crab. He's kind of funny too. And the circle thinlit framelit die. Oh, and then I messed it up. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com. Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to make a card. And you could actually put any image you want in the inside. I'm using the circle thinlit dies, which are a great, actually the image that I stamped is from Your Sublime, which is a fun stamp set that has lots of different occasions in there. And then these are the thinlit circle dies. So you get all of these dies into the with the thinlit, and then this is actually the thinlit that makes the card, that makes it swing out like that. So let me show you quickly how you do that. It's fairly easy. You're going to bring in your Big Shot. So here's my Big Shot, my clear plate. I'm using a sheet of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's actually bigger than what I actually need, but I'm just going to leave it cut that size. And then my thinlit. Now I will show you here, I did ding my thinlit in my Big Shot. So when you're setting this up, you can see that it's just, it's a little bit thinner this way than it is this way. Put it this way because you don't want to ding your corner like I did. It still works and it's fine, but it just cut an edge right as it went through the Big Shot, and I didn't see it happening, and it just cut it right off. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up with the clear plate, a clear plate on top, and run that through the Big Shot. And it does crunch and crack as it cuts through. And then what you've got is, there's your piece of cardstock. We'll pull that out. And when I take that off, you'll see that where you have the card, and there's score lines in here. I don't know if you can see those, and then the actual die cuts. And so this is going to get bent this way, and this is going to get bent this way. Now there are other ways to use this die. You can make it a card so it flaps open, but I'm just going to show this way for right now, and I will link to a video. I think I have a video that I'll link it in there, and then you'll be able to watch that one too. But that's how quickly it is to make that card. And then what I did is I took a piece of designer series paper. Actually, this is, yeah, designer series paper in the Watermelon Wonder, and this one happens to be 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of it. And I'm going to add this on. I wanted it just to have a little bit of an edge around it. Here we go. And that's, looks like I taped it down. I'll put tape in that opening. So there you have it, just a really quick, it just gives it a little background piece. And then what I did is I came in with a piece of Whisper white cardstock and my stamp. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that down. And I'm using the Watermelon Wonder. So it coordinates with cardstock and the designer series paper. The nice thing about our pens is that they have a brush end on one side and a fine point on the other. And you can, they're great for coloring, but they're also great for writing with that fine tip. One of the things people have is sometimes their fine tip will get, it'll stop working, it'll dry out. And if you just take that tip and put it into a little cap of water, just hold it into a little cap of water till you start to see some ink come out, and then scribble onto a piece of paper. And you will have a tip that works again. Now, as far as storage goes with our markers, you'd like to keep them so they are horizontal. So you want to store them flat. You want to store them horizontally so that the ink is flowing on both ends and not just going down to one end. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and color in my crab here. I'm not doing the greatest job of coloring. And a little bit of yellow for his mouth. And then his eyes, they're fine, but I think that it just sets it off if, oh, I don't want to do that yet. 2.5 inch punch is what I'm using to go ahead and punch that out. And then I'm going to come in with some googly eyes, because these, the eyes in this and the eyes in the frog are just itching for some googly eyes in there. And so then this is just going to get attached right into your circle, like that. And then I actually punched another 2.5 inch circle. Add adhesive to it, and then I'm going to slide. This is actually going to go right into that circle there as a place for me to write. So there's a very quick and easy card. Okay, so that was the quick, easy card with the crab there. Pretty cute. Oh my gosh, I really bumped my slides far ahead. Sorry. Okay, so there is my cards. I did have somebody ask a question. Jackie, I believe it was, asked about the Montana Card Week and the retreat that I did. I did it back in, was it February? It was an absolute blast. I had so much fun that I've decided to do another one. I'm doing another one in July. I think it's like the July 7th. Yeah, it was Jackie. Now I gotta get my phone out here so I can see. May, June, July. Okay, so it's like July 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th. So you come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leave Sunday. Another retreat out there. It's awesome that they have a cook out there that does all the cooking for us. Everybody got a big table. We laughed and laughed and laughed. I have space for 24. I am going to be sending out information about that soon if you're interested. It's in Red Lodge, about 5 minutes out of town, in Red Lodge, Montana. And it's absolutely a blast. It's going to be in July. So the weather will be decent. I did it in July so that we could have, make sure for decent roads. We do get snow sometimes in July, but we wouldn't get enough snow that you couldn't drive, I'm sure. So anyway, if you're interested in that, we had a lot, like I said, 24 gals. Everybody was working on their stuff. I had another gal, sorry, I didn't write down your name, asked about how I store my paper pumpkin. You'll see my little paper pumpkin box right here. It's not even opened yet. I'm so sad. But I'm hoping that as soon as I get those thank yous done, I can play with my paper pumpkin. But one of the things I learned to do is this is just a little binder that I got probably at like Office Max, Office Depot. I don't even know which one of them is open anymore. And there's page protectors inside here. And I just tuck in the paper pumpkin instructions, and then I pop in the actual stamp set that went with it into the page protector. And then I actually over here, and then if I have extra supplies from that particular kit, like here, I just tucked them in there so that I have supplies. I'm ready to go. And here's the boxes. They didn't fit inside here, but they fit in the pocket. So I just stuck all that stuff in there, and I'm just adding my paper pumpkins in there as I go. And then I have a binder, and I was going to do a cover and all that fun stuff. It didn't get done. But that's just one way to, the other way is I have another one, before I get them in there, I have a basket. and I just kind of tucked them in the basket. But yeah, organize your paper pumpkin. It's great. Those are great little stamp set, and I'm going to talk about that because if you sign up for Paper Pumpkin before April 10th, which is Sunday, this month they're celebrating Paper Pumpkin's 3rd birthday, and everybody's getting an extra free stamp set in the Paper Pumpkin kit. I have no idea what it's all about, what it looks like, but it's just a little surprise, and it's available to anybody who signs up for Paper Pumpkin. So I will have a link at Facebook about signing up, and if you have questions, you can let me know. You can buy subscriptions, or you can just go ahead and get the monthly kit. I love Paper Pumpkin because it's the one project every month that I don't have to plan, that somebody else plans for me, and I just sit down and play with it. So, and what the heck, get free stamps this time around. So I hope I got everybody's questions answered. If I didn't, I will be checking here in a moment. I wanted to let you know that this month's April tutorial is Botanical Blooms. Kind of a fun little tutorial that is done up with 4 different cards, little different techniques, and it's all using the exact same products. This is a tutorial that I send out to my customers who place orders with me. If you're in the virtual club, if you don't know what that is, I will have a link, or there's a link in these slides that you can click on. Virtual club is a commitment of 6 months of a $25 purchase, and at the end of it, you get $15 in free product. No, $25 of free product of your choice. And then you get a free tutorial each month. Now, this particular tutorial is 4 different cards with PDFs that you can print and videos walking you right through the steps of doing this. I do have a partnership with another demonstrator, or not a demonstrator, she's actually a stamper out of Canada. And these tutorials were hers. So it's kind of fun because you get to have a little bit more instruction from somebody else, so it doesn't always look the same. So that was just it's just kind of fun that we are doing that. So that is the free tutorial this month. The weekly deals this month. Oh, here's the free stamp set from Paper Pumpkin that I told you about. I did want to talk to you about the weekly deals, so I'm going to come back onto screen share, and hopefully I pulled it up. Let me see, screen share. Nope. Okay, so what I have to do, sorry, is pull up. Here we go. Okay, I got it now. I have to open up there we go. Okay, I just had to open up my screen because it wasn't ready to go. Sorry about that. Now I will screen share to the weekly deals, which are here because there's a whole bunch of them. So this month, Stampin' Up! Has decided that the weekly deals are going to leave on April 18th. There's only going to be 2 more weeks of them, this week and next week, and then they're going to do something else. They did this with overstock product that we had, but you'll see that this month, or this week, we have, usually there's 5 or 6 weekly deals, and this month there's more. Some great deals. I think this Rose Garden Thinlit die, if you don't already have that, I love that die, and I have got a whole set of videos using that die in different ways. That's a fabulous die. It's a lot of fun. Sunburst die, I haven't even used it yet, and I feel pretty bad about that, but those are the weekly deals for this month. And like I said, weekly deals will be this month, and then they're going to end one more week of weekly deals, and then Stampin' Up's going to try something different. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but that's what it is. So let me pull up the slides again. I do have a couple more videos coming up, and I do want you to make sure that you're popping in your questions if you have them. Let me know if you have questions. Okay, so this is a project kit that Stampin' Up! Has, and this was kind of fun. It's got lots of different parts and pieces. It's kind of a long video, but it's a couple different techniques, and I just wanted you to see this kit before it goes away. It's not, it'll be around until it sells out, or until the end of May. And it comes with a lot of supplies, a lot of fun things. Oh, missed one there. This one here. In colors. The retiring in colors are, oh goodness. The retiring ink colors are, these are the colors that are going to be gone at the end of May. I recommend to people now, if you have an ink pad in any one of those 5 colors and you don't have the re-inker, order it sooner rather than later, because the re-inkers are the first thing to run out when they announce that things are retiring. So these are all the products that are going to be retiring that we know of for sure. There'll be others, there'll be stamp sets, and there'll be other products too. But I just want you to look at those ink colors. Make sure that you have what you need. So here we go with the video.
Hi friends! You know, out of all the many products Stampin' Up! Offers, the project kits are my very favorites. They really do make crafting simple and fun, and they don't take too long to put together. And when you're done, you have gorgeous handmade creations that make you look like the queen or king of crafting. Stampin' Up! Has outdone themselves yet again with the kit I am going to show you today. This one is the You're So Lovely project kit, and it is amazing. It comes with supplies to make 12 cards and 12 treat bags. Let me show you how cute these cards are. Let's flip through those quick. There's a lot of variety in this kit, so you can make these cards however you like. And then there's also 12 of these glassine treat bags as well that you make tags for. And the mint macaron. We also have some in the watermelon. Now, one of my favorite things about this kit is that it has a ton of extra supplies in it, which gives you room for even more creativity when you're putting together the projects, and it gives you some leftovers to play with when you're done. Now, I'm sure your demonstrator could give you some great ideas about what to do with all those extra goodies. The kit comes with everything you need except for the stamps, inks, and adhesive. So contact your demonstrator about getting together with a group of friends to stamp this kit, and they'll be able to bring those extra supplies to the class for you. There are a lot of fun ink techniques you'll do when you put this kit together, like graying, sponging, and masking, and your demonstrator can also teach you everything you need to know to be an expert at all those techniques. You're going to have so much fun putting this kit together, and I have a few tips for you that will make it a little easier. Now, my first tip is, instead of working on one project start to finish, do all of your brayering and inking first. That's really going to speed up the process. Now, the kit includes this super fun sponge brayer, which, as the name suggests, is a combination of a brayer and a sponge. And sometimes you're going to want to use it like a brayer, and sometimes like a sponge. And I'll show you what I mean. You're going to start by picking the mask you want. This one is a diamond. It's hard to tell here. So you can use either the positive image or the negative image. So you can make the diamond shape, or you can make a sponge around the shape. I'll show you how to do both. So we're going to start here with the positive image. Just line up your stencil on your card. Open our ink here. And just really gently ink up your sponge. You don't need a lot of pressure. That could actually damage your pad, and it doesn't need to look like you have a lot of ink on the sponge. It actually soaks that up pretty well. And then you'll just roll this over your mask just like that until you get your diamond shape. The inking techniques get you a lot of variation in the color, so I can go with a little bit more pressure and more ink to get a darker watermelon, or I can go a little bit lighter on that as well. Now you can see how by doing that brayering technique, it lays that ink down really easily. I can keep up that motion, that rolling motion, or I can again use this like a sponge and rub that in a little bit. That just changes the texture. It gets rid of those kind of spotty marks in there. And there's not a right way or wrong way to do this. It just depends on what look you are going for. So there we have the positive image. Now to do the negative image, I found it a little easier to use my brayer more like a sponge. I've got the circle on this one now. So you can continue to roll over, but I found that was a little bit hard to get the shape I wanted. I just wanted a small outline around the circle there. So I found it a little easier just to continue to daub around the edges of the circle. or whatever shape you're working on. It's just a little bit easier to get that varied shape you were looking for. If your stencil slips, just stop and put that back into place. Just go all the way around until you have that fun negative image of the circle there. And again, same thing, you could rub that in if you wanted to give it a smoother look. I kind of like the spotty look on this one. Now the tags, it comes with sheets of tags for you. You'll just pop out the tags. And this is another one, especially because you're working with such a small area, that I found it easier to just daub on that ink instead of trying to roll it. And you're going to want to lay down your ink first with the dauber and then stamp on top of that. Now the other project we use the brayer for in this is those glassine bags. The glassine bags come plain, and then we add that fun stenciling on there. So it comes with the stencil. The stencil, you have to pop out all of those tiny little arrows, and that's a little bit time consuming, but I found it worked pretty well if you kind of rolled the sheet back and forth like this. A lot of them will just pop out, so you don't have to do quite as much individual popping. Now for this one, now I've got little arrows all over the place. This stencil is larger than the glassine bag. Sometimes that can be difficult because you can't really hold the bag down. If you find that hard to roll with your brayer over this when you have nothing to hold it onto, just do small pieces at a time. So start up the front, move your stencil up to the top so you can hold the stencil down, the mask and your bag at the same time. And then you can brayer over that and then just move it down. This one is symmetrical, so you'll be able to match up those lines and finish at the bottom. Now the brayer comes with 2 sponges. So you'll have one for Watermelon Wonder, and then you can just pop out that sponge and put the new one in when you want to do the mint macaron. So once you've sponged everything, you can move on to the stamping. Now this kit is designed to work with the You're So Lovely stamp set, and there are some great phrases in the stamp set for all occasions. We've got happy birthday, and you're so lovely, and congratulations, and enjoy your day. So you'll have a lot of options there with your phrases. And again, I mentioned it has a ton of extra. We have 20 different banners we can use here, even though the kit only makes 12 cards. So if you prefer one color over the other, you can do more of those. And this is also nice because if you make a mistake, you can just move on down to the next one. Now, one tip for this one, the chalkboard paper does use the Whisper White craft ink, and this one will smear and smudge a little bit if you don't give it time to dry. So if you're a lefty, make sure you start from the right and stamp to the left so you're not smudging over that. And either way, if you're left-handed or right-handed, give it time to dry after you stamp the banner outline before you put your greeting so you don't accidentally smudge your images there. So once everything is stamped and brayered, you get to come to the fun part of assembling your cards, and I have a few fun tips for you there as well. I'll grab these again. Now the die cut accents they've given you, again, we have a ton of extra pieces, which means you can get some great variety in these. You'll just pop out the one you want. We did the diamond on this one. Now another fun thing you'll notice, there are 2 different options for the circle. You have this fun, it's kind of a laurel wreath. You can see that. And also this squiggly circle there. So we've got a couple of different circle options. So let's look at the diamond. So pop out these middle sections. Now some of the masks, like the diamond and the star, are not symmetrical. So make sure you line up your piece before you put your glue on it. So this one, if I glued this way would be perfect. If I had this upside down, if I put the glue on this side and try to do it this way, it's not going to line up because it's not symmetrical. So make sure you line up your piece first before you put glue around the edges so you don't accidentally glue the wrong side. And your fine tip glue pen is your new best friend. It's going to make gluing up those little pieces in here piece of cake. And the other thing you're going to want to remember is to cut your baker's twine first so you don't run out. So you'll have enough you need for all of your cards and glassine bags. And then you have enough of these enamel accents to do 4 on each card. So it gives you a lot of just wiggle room and creativity when you're creating these fun projects. And that's really all there is to it, to creating these beautiful cards and treat bags. And you'll have all those extra pieces you want to play with. But another fun thing is you'll have all these extra mats.
Oh. Anyway, it came with a whole bunch of extra pieces. Sorry about that. So it's kind of a fun kit and pretty easy to do. So I am going to check around again for questions if anybody has any. So I do have a couple more videos. I'm going to go ahead and start playing the next one. Remind you that there is that free set with paper pumpkin. This card is kind of a fun little easy card to do. I'll start this video and check for questions. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did this card. I think you're going to like it. It's fairly simple, but I wanted to show you how I did the little opening for the actual stamped image into that designer series paper. And so, just so you know, we are using the Your Sublime stamp set. It's a new one in the new Stampin' Up! Catalog. It's kind of a fun all-around set that you can use for lots of different cards. A couple of different markers. I've got Real Red, Mint Macaron, and Sahara Sand. I'm going to use this little stamp here, and then I'm using some of the designer series paper. It comes 12 by 12. Now I've cut this down to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm using the tag punch. So what you're going to do is you're going to line this punch up. You're going to make sure it's butted all the way up to the edge of the punch on the inside, and that these two sides are even. And I'm just all by eyeballing it. And you're going to punch out a tag. Now you can go ahead and use that on another project. Once you've done that, you're going to flip it around and come back in on the other side and line up the tag. It's kind of hard to do it without putting my head in the thing, but line that up and punch it down. And then come in again and line that up and punch it down. And that's how you get a cute label punch. And then I actually came in a 3rd time on this side and punched that down. So you get a bunch of little tiny scraps. And once you are done, that's what your label looks like. So just a really fun way to do a little opening in a card. Now the rest of this card goes together fairly easy. What I did is I took this, and you can decide which you want. I chose the florals just because I was using a stamp that had florals in it. So I'm going to add this to my cardstock. And you have 2 options here. You can just go ahead and ink up your stamp and attempt to get it into the middle, which is probably the way that I will do it, or you can use the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. And I guess if this doesn't work, then I'll use Stamp-A-Ma-Jig next time. But I'm just going to come in with my stamp and stamp right down into the middle of my label. Looks pretty good. And then I just use markers. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I had a yellow marker. Here it is. So this is Daffodil Delight. And really, I'm just straight coloring. Once you've got that done, I've got a piece of Mint Macaron cardstock here that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, folded in half. And I'm just going to add this with some snail right to the front of my cardstock. And then I brought in a piece of Real Red ribbon. I like the look of the Mint Macaron with the Real Red. It's really, I just love it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm measuring, I'm gonna do that again. I'm measuring for a bow to tie around here. And when I do that, I use 4, when it's a bow, I use 4 widths of the card, wherever it's gonna be tied onto. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will give you enough ribbon to go ahead and tie that into a bow. If you're only gonna do a knot, you just need 3 lengths of the ribbon. Come around here. Tie this into a ribbon, or into a bow. And you can just do a little adjusting. And then the other thing you can do is once you've got your bow tied, you can decide where you want it. So if you want it on the side of the card, you want it on the middle of the card, you can just move it around. But there you have it, just a really quick way. I wanted to show you another use for that tag punch by making this little opening in your designer series paper or cardstock. And then you also have, like I said, you have a tag that you can go ahead and use for another project. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you. And if you haven't already done so, you may want to sign. Okay, so there was my other card. I do have one more card before I'm done, but I want to make sure that I've got everybody's questions answered. Somebody had asked me if I had seen April's paper pumpkin. I have not. I don't get to see the paper pumpkins any sooner than anybody else does. It comes in the mailbox just like yours. Sometimes when Stampin' Up! Has mailed them all out, they'll put up a video, and that's, you know, when everybody else can see it is when I can see it. So yeah, I love that idea with that punch. That really makes it a great way to use your supplies and use it for more than just the label punch that it came as. So this is a quick card. I love this one. It's the spinner card. It's cute, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm here to show you how to make this spinner card. And as you can see, this little submarine will just spin right across my card. It's a really fun little card and has a lot of movement to it, and they're fun to make. And you can use any image, but today I'm using the stamp set You're Sublime. This is a stamp set from Stampin' Up! In the new catalog in 2015, and this has the 5 stamps in it, and they're really a lot of fun. And actually, there's a couple of them in here that would do great with this moving card. The other stamp set that I'm using today is the dotted angles. I'm going to just use that as a background stamp. So let's get started. So to begin with, I took that stamp and stamped it, and I went ahead and colored it in, and I used Stampin' Up's markers. I used Cucumber Crush, Daffodil Delight, and Real Red, and just colored in my image. And then I'm going to take a 2.5-inch circle punch and line that up and punch it out. And there's that little piece. And then I'm taking another piece of cardstock. This is Whisper White cardstock, and I've actually cut this down 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use that background stamp and some Daffodil Delight ink and just go ahead and ink that up. One of the things I love about our photopolymer stamps is you can see exactly where you're stamping. And so you get perfect placement every time. And on this one, I just wanted to add some kind of a fun background, and I liked this bubble stamp. Number one, because I hadn't used it yet, and I've had it for a while. But I thought it just kind of went really fun and made for a cute card with the submarine. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and take your word window punch. And I'm actually using my old style word window punch. This is our new style of punches, and they're great because they lock, they store flat and easy. But this one works great, and I'm just going to keep using this until I need to get a new one. So I flip them over so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to go ahead and just punch out once, and then slide that punch down. And I have it butted up against the edge of the punch here so that it's lined up straight. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch a whole row of those. Once I've done that, I am going to come in and just do another slight punch along one edge, because this gutter just needs to be just a little bit bigger to give that card a good spin. So once you have that done, we're actually almost done with this card. It's very quick and easy. You're going to come in with some dimensionals and 2 pennies, and I had them sitting here. Oh, here they are, under my paper. So, and you need 2 pennies to do this with. So you're going to take your piece, or your pennies, let's start with that. And you're going to put a dimensional on 1 penny, and then add the other penny on top of that. And that's the little mechanism that does the spinning. So it's a penny, a dimensional, and a penny. And that's going to get put right into that gutter. And that stays in there. You want to make sure that gutter is small enough, but fat enough so those pennies can move freely. And then you're just going to take your image that you punched out and add 1 more dimensional and add your image onto that. And then I took another sheet of cardstock. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, folded in half. And on this one, I'm actually going to add a few more dimensionals. I'm going to put one on each corner. I'm going to put one on the ends of the gutter there that I made, just to keep this. What I want to do is I want to make sure that this stays up off the card so that those pennies can move pretty freely. So once I've got those all on there, I'm going to pull them off. And really, anything on a card can spin. This set happens to work great for spinner cards, but you could have anything spinning. And then I'm just going to attach that with the dimensionals onto the front of my card base. And there you have it, a spinner card. Oh, come on now. It does take a little bit to get it to go. I'm catching on some things in there. You got to kind of loosen it up and get it to go. And then it will spin right across your cardstock. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. A really easy, fun technique. Make a spinner card and see how easy it is. Okay, so there's your spinner card. I do like that one because it's so easy to do and people think you're so cool. So I'm kind of checking around for questions. That doesn't look like I have any more. So that's cool. We're getting close to being done. So now would be the time, if you do have a question, to pop it in there. I just wanted you to know that we are going to do the ordering. This is the Hostess code. As you know, if you use the Hostess code and you place an order with me through this online workshop, what I do is I gather them all together, and then I put everybody that uses the Hostess code gets a fun little goodie basket or goodie bag from me. Comes in the mail. Could be anything. Oh, I just got a Charlie horse. Sorry. So anyway, if the orders are placed by Sunday, April 10th is the cutoff date. So anytime before Sunday is when you'll get that goodie bag using that Hostess code. Now, if your order happens to be over $150, please don't use the Hostess code. You want to go ahead and take that and get the Hostess rewards for yourself. You'll still get the goodie bag from me. So I will keep tabs on that and make sure that things are going along great. So don't forget about the in colors that are retiring. Quick clicking through here. There is a door prize. I want you to go ahead and get started on that. But while you're doing that, I did want to come in and do a little screen share because I want to show you where that Hostess code goes in at. When you are on the Stampin' Up website, that's what did I do? What did I do? Let's see. It looks like I've got, there we go. Sorry about that. When I end up with so many open screens, it's kind of hard to keep tabs on exactly what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So as far as the Hostess code, this is the Stampin' Up! Online store, so you can just go ahead and choose whatever items that you want. I'm going to pick this. I'm going to add it to my bag. And when this screen here comes up, I can either view my shopping bag or continue shopping. Either one is fine. When you are ready to check out, you're going to view your shopping bag and you're going to apply your Hostess code right in here and hit apply. And then that's going to attach it to the party. So I'm going to know if you get a goodie bag. But now, like I said, if your order is over $150, do not do the Hostess code. Just go ahead and take those Hostess rewards for yourself, and I will keep tabs on if you listen to me, I'm just stumbling over my words here. I will keep tabs and make sure that you get the goodie bag. So we are going to go, we're going to screen share again. It's door prize time. So go ahead and fill out your door prize. How this works is everybody fills out a door prize form. I have picked a random number before we get started, and everybody's information is populated into a spreadsheet. And then whoever name lands on number 28 is the number that I chose tonight on this little Post-it note. We'll get this stamp set. It's a wood stamp set. It's for being you. It's a thanks stamp, and then it's wood too. It hasn't even been mounted. But it's a great little stamp set. Lots of fun things you can do with that. So that's tonight's door prize. So if you're interested, fill out your door prize slip. If you have more questions, please ask now. Now's the time to do it because I'm going to be done here in about a few minutes. And I don't want to miss out on answering your questions. Let me quick check my phone. My phone's getting ready to die. So if you're on my website, type fast and hit send so that I can see if you have a question. I'm going to check Facebook. And then I'm going to do the door prize drawing. Doesn't look like Facebook has any questions. YouTube have any questions? I did have another person. Oh, if you're on YouTube, down in the description is the link to click on for the door prize. If you're on my website, there should be a link. And if you're on Facebook, there should be an orange button. Oh, somebody asked who the Canadian demo is. She's not a demo. Her name is, and she was a demo many years ago. Andrea Walford. She's been around for a long time. She's very artistic, and so she's the one that's been helping me out. How do you pick your colors for your card projects? A lot of the times when I pick colors for card projects, I just pick colors. Sometimes I'll use like the designer series paper packs, and on the back of it, it has a list of the different colors. You know those are going to go together, so I use the colors that are in the designer. May not necessarily use the designer series paper in that, but I definitely use the color combinations. Other thing I like to do, of course, is anytime you put colors in the same color family and the same groupings, you're going to be fine. That's how I pick my colors. And mood. And I do find, like now, I'll start using lots of soft subtles because it's springtime. And I really find myself falling into those seasons. Looks like Joe Morgan, she chooses a main color and then uses the colors which coordinate well with that one. That's perfect. Yeah. Oh, and looks like you found the door prize thing. Awesome. It's great when you use the bike stamp and sloping slide. Yeah, I bet it is. You just slide it down so it's sloped. That's awesome. I told you how I pick colors. Cool. So I'm going to check one more time. Oh. Please post pictures from convention. Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. I will be back. I'm going to be gone. Like I said, I leave on Wednesday. I'll be back on Sunday. My daughter's probably going to move that day. I will probably do something. Watch my website, watch my Facebook, but I will be posting up. I may even do another workshop such as this. Definitely doing, with new product in June. I have to kind of wait to see what I can show and what I can't show. I don't want to not follow the rules. Stampin' Up sets aside for us. So catalogs will come to you in May. Seems weird, but watch for those retiring lists that are coming up. It won't be till after convention. So just know that. Sometimes I do a retirement party. Like I said, I'm really afraid to schedule too much stuff online at this point because things are so hectic right now and I don't want to not be able to make it. So I hope that makes sense. How many days are you at convention? Okay, so we're driving to Salt Lake because I love the drive. I really do love to drive when I go places. So we're leaving on Wednesday. Convention is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll come home on Sunday. It's pretty full days. Any more questions? Yep, post pictures from convention. I certainly will. I'll probably be posting too from convention live from my Facebook page. So you may want to make sure that you've liked that. There's now a new live button on Facebook, and I might actually post live from convention just to give you just little tidbits of it. I won't be on there a lot because, like I said, I'm busy. I got things to do and people to talk to and things to learn. But I will be posting a few things live from convention next week on my Facebook. So make sure that you like it. Who wants to know who the winner is of the door prize slip? Ooh. Okay, it looks like everybody's got pretty much filled in. It was number 28 was the winner, and that is Jana Ripke at J Ripley at mindspring.com. So Jana, if you're out there, you will need to send me you can send me an email at diane@DDStamps.com or a Facebook message. You can send me I need your address so I can get this stamp set out to you. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. If nobody has any other questions, we are done. You are welcome. Becky, you're welcome. I'm glad that I love doing this and it's fun to be able to teach people. Yeah, I used a lot of pastels. I love the pastels. Is there a door prize? I can see in here. Yeah, there is actually. Linda, I hope that you got in there. Post pictures of dimension. Good. Looks like we've got everybody. Oh, one more. I better check just before my phone dies. One more on my website. Oh, I got 3 questions. 2 questions. Joan loves my workshops, only don't get to watch as often as you like. I'm glad that you do, but my workshops are all taped, so you can always watch them later. And Nancy loves my classes. You guys are so kind. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep tabs on me. Keep watching what I'm doing, because I'll be coming live from, like I said, from my Facebook next week, posting some stuff up on my website. And who knows, I might just pull and do another one of these workshops in the near future. So thank you and have a great night. Bye.